Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark.
If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to another episode of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. For those of you familiar with 5th edition, please keep in mind that all of our players are playing a custom class called the ClockTower Agent. We also play with a lot of house rules in our games that we as a group collectively enjoy. We explain these rules as they come up, so if you're just joining us, you may need to listen to previous episodes to clear up any confusion. Before we begin this episode, I'd like to invite Darbii here to help explain some things. Hey Darbii.
Hi!
Hey Darbii. So, some important stuff happened between last episode and this episode. Can you tell the listeners what that is?
Yeah, we leveled up to level 3.
That's exciting. What does that mean for Reagan and the rest of the ClockTower agents?
Well, all of our weapons got upgraded, like my cool curvy sword and gun do more damage.
Nice.
Our armor also got upgraded, so all the clothes that change to fit each world protect us a little bit more.
Very cool.
We also got cool new abilities like regional information, which gives us knowledge about each world.
Right, I believe specifically it's related to how many years you would be there in direct correlation to your intelligence modifier. So if your intelligence modifier is 2, that means that you will have known that area for as if you would live there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, we also got our first Fated Path feature.
Oh, right. The Fated Path is the subclass of the ClockTower agent. For Reagan, it's the South. So what feature did Reagan get?
Marked for death.
What does that mean?
It means I have advantage on a single opponent. Is it any plane of existence?
It's technically any plane of existence you can see into. So if later you gain the ability to see into other planes of existence, you can still find them. They cannot run from you. Not to mention, like, it's not just the world. If that person goes to space, you still know where they are.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feature. And for our listening audience, if you want to know any of the other features of the other ClockTower agents or any of the other fated paths, like the Path of the North, which is what Rock is, the Path of the East, which is what Sam is, the Path of the West, which is what Jaeger is, or the Path of the South, which is what Reagan is, we're going to have the ClockTower class available for download on our website. So you can go there, check it out, and download the class for yourself, run it in your games, and be sure to tell us what you think. I think that about covers it.
Enjoy the episode.
And welcome to the ClockTower. Small particles of dust float through the air, illuminated by the soft glow of light, like dancing embers above a roaring fire. The still air seems to be all that you can even notice in this quiet and dusty room that is the ClockTower. The only other sound you hear is the soft and almost too quiet noises of mechanical gears turning above you. A little bit of time has passed since you all finished your last mission. Without speaking about it or saying much of anything, it kind of seemed like all of you would elect to take the time, and no one of you has of yet started the next mission. That being said, with like what little downtime all of you have, with how much time you've spent in this room already, how do your characters spend the time they have in the ClockTower?
I've been standing in front of the trophy case, staring at that gun, at the creature, back to the gun, trying to understand exactly how I feel. It's as if I've done everything right that I should, but for some reason I don't feel like I accomplished, or I don't know.
we see Jaeger standing solemnly in front of the shelves as the small illuminated specks of dust seem to float through the air, crossing in front of Rock. What are you doing?
Rock would have spent some time trying to find something to do in the small space that is seemingly the clock tower, but probably would have just ended up on the couch, not staring up because it feels endless, but looking forward and reminiscing of a time to where he didn't have to make such rash decisions.
And as we follow that same speck of dust, Sam?
Sam is in the corner, kind of not hidden from the group, but kind of around the hourglass, a way to get a little bit of privacy in.
The hourglass is centermost to the room, but still.
On the opposite side of the normal people.
Right.
He's crouched with himself, kind of focused on his studies, pouring more and more energy into casting his abilities. Maybe if he was stronger or faster, he could have saved them. He could have at least talked it through.
And finally, the small speck of dust lands on the ground near Reagan.
I'm standing right next to the hourglass, looking at all of the quote-unquote dust particles, all of the sand, the universes that are inside.
And you see, like, as you stare at them, it is almost too incomprehensible to stare at for too long. And yet you keep staring as if almost getting vertigo from looking too deep. As you look closer and closer, seem to lose yourself in an almost daydream of falling through the hourglass yourself, surrounded by hundreds and thousands, worlds uncountable, exploding in amazing and beautiful colors all around you. Small pinpoints of light dot the horizon as twinkling stars are all you can see. And you seem to flow with the currents of cosmic energy that seem to tug at you here and there, gently drifting you between all of the worlds. As quickly as you've entered this swirling, never-ending, vast expanse, you're snapped out of it. You're staring at the hourglass as another grain of sand, another world, passes through the eye. And there's a somber tone around everyone. Everyone, for the first time since you've got here, is less concerned about who you are or what you're meant to be doing, and maybe who you are and what you've done.
After some time would pass, Rock would get up off of the couch and kind of shake his head like he wanted to stop thinking, like if his brain was an Etch-a-Sketch and he just kind of wanted to start it anew. And he would walk up to the clock face and attempt, through what his knowledge would be, to gain a new mission.
And as has been done twice before now, Rock this time steps up onto the small landing in front of the blank clock face and reaches out and touches it. All of you, from your different positions in the clock tower, hear the small pocket watches on your person start to whir and line up with the giant clock face itself. The time is set with the minute hand on 11 and the hour hand on 12. And Jaeger, I think you're the closest person in the mirror, if not Reagan as well, depending on which side of the hourglass you're on. And you see the mirror and the reflection of this room dissolve away, rippling as if a pool of water, to reveal a strange sight on the other end of the mirror. Unlike the vibrant worlds you've seen before, strange and different as they are, the world on the other side of this mirror seems to be devoid of color. It looks as if someone has taken video in black and white of some sort of vast desert.
What? This is odd.
Rock's gonna come down from the clock face and also kind of look in the mirror and... Huh. That's a little out there. Well, what are we waiting for? It's a new mission, come on.
Sam, hearing that statement's kind of shooken out of his focused state and wanders over. Looks kind of puzzled and a bit annoyed at the new concept of a new mission, and goes to join the group.
All of you are in front of it, and you see the same thing. The black and white desert.
I look at every member of my party, nod my head, and walk through.
Rock is right behind you.
Well, here we go again, right, Jaeger? Sam goes through.
Jaeger removes his hat, dusts it off on his leg, and then puts it back on before walking through.
As you step through the mirror, you see that despite the overcasted sky, this world is not, in fact, in grayscale. Merely covered in some gray powder that makes up the soft dunes surrounding you. Ominous silhouettes of crumbling skyscrapers stand abandoned in the middle distance. As a small gust of wind passes, it kicks up small clouds of this surrounding powder, creating an almost choking fog that never really seems to go away, robbing you slightly of both sight and air. All around you, despite the what seem to be ominous silhouettes of those skyscrapers, there doesn't seem to be much else of note or much other direction as to where to go. And as always, almost no understanding of why you're here.
I give our surroundings a quick little look around. Do we see anything at all?
Other than the skyscrapers in the distance, not much of anything. And the skyscrapers aren't too far away. They're definitely silhouetted by the lighting that is being cast by the like sort of late afternoon overcasted sky. But a decent amount of walking could get you there pretty quickly.
Well, on the bright side, it's a lot more freeing than the spaceship. A lot more open space.
You also notice that looking left and right to your fellow agents, all of your clothes have seemed to take on an almost modern, formal attire, I would say.
And we look fancy. So
you
already,
would, if not for the fact that this gray powder is all but covering you immediately.
I retract my statement.
Sam lets out a hacking cough and kind of pulls his hat down over his face and the corner of his coat over his mouth. Yeah, well, sure I'm glad to be in non-recycled air.
The powder itself, as you kind of like hack and like it's on your tongue, kind of, is dusty and almost smoky tasting a bit. When examined, the small dunes close seem to be less like granules of any sort of dust and almost like fine flakes.
Please don't be ash.
No, it is. It definitely is. Okay, well.
Wait, does that mean I have dead people on my tongue? Please don't tell me I have dead people on my tongue.
Well,
You guys all should have gotten a hat. Pulls his barbroom hat down, just sort of lets it cover his face. Look, the only things I can see around here besides us is, well, those buildings.
well, we might as well get to walking.
Yeah.
I don't feel like our mission's going to be in the middle of dead people.
I mean, it might get to be trees. I don't know where we're assuming it's dead people. Like, let's not overreact to this.
I just assumed.
You're probably right.
I just want to be out of this.
You guys start heading to the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you start walking through, you notice that all of the buildings themselves, in one way or the other, seem like they've been standing for a long time and haven't been used or touched in an even longer time. They look completely abandoned. The windows that you can look into and the different buildings that you can see, there are things left unattended, but shop windows are devoid of clothes.
Huh.
In fact, it seems though this city's like stone and metal buildings and the glass of them is covered in the same gray powder, it seems like stone and glass and metal, some of the only things left here. Well, the soft breeze that blows through, every time it does, kicks up another small dust of gray powder all around you. And you're trying to keep it out of your eyes and out of your mouth, as Sam has now stated, and it's just all encompassing. It's all around you at all times. Like every moment you're in here, you're breathing whatever this gray powder is. As you're looking around the city, you don't really seem to notice much. However, as far as all of you know, shouldn't be like this, because you feel like you know more about this place. Anybody who would like to roll a history check with advantage.
Well, might as well all do it, I suppose.
Yeah. No reason not to. That's way better. 23.
That's a 23 as well.
Hey.
22.
What about you, Rock?
8.
Nice.
This is on brand.
So everybody who got above 10.
You could have said above 20.
I could have, but I didn't. You guys know this city to be the capital city, Estrandus. It was the capital of one of the strongest nations in the world. And it should be a bustling mecca of new technologies, amazing and fantastical advancements, and one of the most successful and peaceful civilizations in the world.
God, I wonder what happened here.
It should be a utopia. But what you guys know of this place, it's not. Well, I mean, doesn't seem to be anyway.
Wait, what happened here? Where's all the green? There should be people and street performers and
Trees, life.
that shop there should be full of just new things.
Doesn't seem like there's been anything new here for a long time.
It doesn't make any sense.
I can't call it.
None of this does.
Well, we're here for a reason. You know, might as well find that reason.
We couldn't have got here too late, right?
I'd be very surprised if a being that's surrounded by time got us here late.
I mean, I don't hear anything that would be a monster. I don't see anyone shooting guns off.
Just because a bad thing happened doesn't mean it's over.
Yes.
True.
Valid point.
If we're gonna fix this, though, I don't even know where to start.
We start looking. We start
The other
walking.
thing that you all notice, even Rock notices, as you guys are all talking about the utopia that this city should be, knowing more about the city than you really understand, you notice something else. You don't hear any birds. You don't really hear anything. Just the wind whistling through the abandoned buildings as it blows up more of that gray dust.
What direction is the wind coming from?
We'll say from the west. You guys have really walked through like one of the many streets that leads to the center of the city. And as of yet, you've only been walking together and noticing what you've been noticing. The entire city, if it didn't need to be said, seems to have no power at all. Like, there are no lights, there's no anything on. It looks almost like a ruin. The only thing that makes it less of a ruin is that a lot of the buildings are mostly in pretty good condition. It doesn't look like there was any rioting or looting or anything. Like, there's no windows broken. There are cars like parked on the street and in the middle of the road, as if just stopped immediately in mid-traffic. The stranger thing about that is that all of the car's tires are gone. All of the inner upholstery of the seats are gone. It's like if you stripped everything that wasn't made of metal, plastic, or stone away from this city, that's what you're seeing.
Are there any... Well, I know there's buildings around, but what's the tallest building in the area?
There seems to be a really big building towards the center of the city.
If we go there, we could probably... I point toward it. If we go there, I could probably get a decent view on what's going on around us. Maybe have some sort of idea.
Best idea we got right now.
You don't think the whole world's like this, do you?
From what we're seeing here? Probably. This place feels dead.
Feels wrong.
Best way to find out is by going to the tallest thing and looking out.
Maybe we'll get some sort of idea.
I start walking forward.
All right. You guys walk down the street, and eventually, you reach the center of the city. At the heart of the city, in front of a massive and ornate building that is clearly some sort of high office, there's a large stage set up with a massive machine built upon it. The incredibly complex machine looks to be made of metals and plastics, with each moving part seeming to almost float around a large ball of light, as if the machine is generating or containing the light itself. Worse yet, the rest of the machine seems to be lifeless, and just as much without power as the rest of the city. And the light at its core seems to be growing with every pulse of a steady heartbeat-like rhythm. The other thing that stands out to you are the many cameras set up as if to record some kind of grand event. Though most of them seem to be degraded into a point of total uselessness, one still stands and seems to be mostly operational.
Reagan, maybe that one?
Is there a way to look through the footage that it may have caught?
It's got like a little monitor you can flip out.
I want to play the video that's on it, whatever video's on it.
As you flip out the monitor, you see that the screen is cracked and does not seem to be playing any sort of visual for the video. But when you press, like there's a small light on the camera as if it's slowly dying. And when you press a button, it does start to play the audio of some kind of video. And you can hear crowds cheering as if to the introduction of some sort of very important figure. And then you very clearly hear a man's voice say,
"This city will be the first of many. Our world is about to be reborn in glorious purpose. Our legacy will be one of endless prosperity. No longer will a single soul want for food. No longer will a war be fought. No longer will our city or any city suffer. We will be beyond these trivial frailties. With this machine, we shall ascend from our mortal state. With this machine, this great invention, we will be connected on a level we cannot yet even imagine. This machine will bridge the great divide between every citizen of this city. By connecting our very souls, the time has finally come. Welcome to the new world."
A booming sound is heard after that, followed by a chorus of screaming, so loud and pained, it will be a long time before any of you can truly forget it. And as quickly as it started, the screaming and the audio itself cuts off as the camera dies.
I think I kind of understand what happened here.
That's awful.
I think the idea was to maybe, quote unquote, upload them to the thing. But I think the man who was speaking had ill intentions.
I think everything, the essence was taken.
At the center of the stage, the ball of light held within the machine grows brighter with a loud, electric sounding almost boom as it pulses again.
But if it's still on, why isn't it affecting us?
Might be because it's charging.
Or the rest of it's broken.
I'm gonna look at my pocket watch. What's the time on there?
1.
I'm just gonna solemnly look up from my pocket watch and go, this isn't gonna be fun. We have 1 minute. So, just prep. I'm just gonna sit down.
I'm just gonna sit down.
I understand what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not going to let myself die without trying something. And we know this machine is the cause of this. So, what if we just turn it off?
The machine itself doesn't look like it has any outside power coming from it. Like, the machine looks like it has multiple parts on the edges of the stage that seem to go into the main part that is holding this ball of light, and all of those look like they have moving parts that aren't moving, and the middle part is still moving on its own.
Oh.
Hey, Rock, you said we have a minute, right?
Do I look again?
Yeah. It's like 30 seconds now, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna regret this so much. I'm gonna take my clock tower weapon and smack the orb.
Oh, I was just gonna go touch it. So I guess.
Oh, I'm gonna hate this.
You try to smack the orb. And as you do, your wrench is caught in a sort of field that won't let it even get close. And it's almost like it's held there for a second. And then like a magnet, like an electromagnet was turned on. It is thrown away from you.
Oh.
Like gone, sailing off.
Well.
And you're all surprised by this and like obviously take a step back like, oh shit, as it like flies off because it was a pretty violent reaction. However, you didn't feel anything. There was no pain or anything. It just kind of was like, hey, no. And then it pulses again. But this time the light goes outside of the barrier of those machine parts that are holding it. As you guys hear your pocket watches stop ticking and the light erupts outward. Not violently, not in a big boom, just a steady growth that is all-encompassing. And it overtakes all of you, blinding, as if holding your hands up, you can slowly see your hand turn to ash before your eyes. And as this light consumes you, you feel a sense of peace, a sense of belonging, a sense of unity and purpose like you've never felt before. It is such a loving, welcoming, and good feeling that not a single part of you wants to leave. Then suddenly, like a wave crashing over you, you wake up in the clock tower.
That was
Nice.
Amazing.
I mean, seeing my body turn to ash wasn't really nice, but
Yeah, that sucked. That hurt.
that was pain. But the rest of it,
The end, yeah.
that was.
Content.
We know why they were screaming.
We know what our timer is.
So, what's our game plan?
I don't know.
We see what's in that digital world of theirs.
I don't think we can get back in there. If we do, I think it ends everything. I think we have to find a way to stop it.
No, go ahead.
I think our timers went off.
Oh yes, definitely. I think that was just whatever happened wasn't supposed to happen.
I don't know why we're there. I understand that our timer is, hey, the world's gonna get enveloped again by that light, and that's death. And seemingly there's no way to go to wherever they went because that involves death. And whenever we die, we just come back here. I'm very stumped.
There was no creature. There was nobody else. It was just that.
And you tried to hit the machine, Sam, and your weapon wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Which you have back on you now, by the way.
Yeah, some people look at it like, oh, thank. Okay.
Well, his metal wasn't life, but we were. Seems like it was only taking life.
Right. Why would the tower want to stop it from going off a second time? There's nothing living on that world.
Maybe it's to get everybody back.
I guess, but why? They seem happy. I was happy.
We all were happy. If it wasn't so painful, I'd do it again.
There's a part of you that, like, wants to do it again, right? Like, despite the pain at the beginning, the almost all-encompassing sense of unity was worth it, almost. But now that you're out of it, roll a wisdom save.
17 for Rock.
14 for yeah.
5.
Natural 1.
Oh.
So,
That makes sense.
So, I guess I'll start with you two, Jaeger and Rock. You two, while thinking about it, especially after saying that you would do it again, have the realization that as that light consumed you, you lost everything that made you you. You lost all sense of self, all sense of individuality. Everything that made you unique, everything that made you different from anybody else, everything that made you a person was gone. Part of the pain you felt was not only the death in a mortal sense, but the death of yourself. Reagan, you have, from all standpoints, ever since you got to the clock tower, not really understood why you're here. And that is a difficult place to be in. It was much easier for that short amount of time that you felt truly gifted with the knowledge of what you're supposed to do in that sense of unity, that it felt like the right thing to do. So much so that you didn't notice or care about any sense of individual loss. And Sam. You want nothing more than to do that again. The fastest, the quickest way that you can feel like that again, and not how you feel right now, not how you felt before going on that mission. Anything you can do. It is so much so that feeling that way you can put down as an addiction on your character sheet.
Would you phrase that as an addiction to
Oh, actually,
unity?
sorry. Before I make it a concrete addiction that you have, roll again to see how bad that one is. And then we'll see whether or not you get a permanent character trait from this.
Plus wisdom or just a normal flat roll?
Well, that would be a normal flat roll, sir.
That's a 5.
Go ahead and mark that down.
Would you say that is a addiction to unity or a
To that feeling specifically. To that light.
addiction to the light?
Addiction to that light. Yeah.
All right.
That's gonna make this difficult.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
I mean, we don't know that.
Because Sam just wants to go to do that again.
Sam would like to go over and touch the mirror again.
So Sam this time goes and touches the clock face before any of you get up, and then goes over, and I guess you like fucking, unlike many other missions, you're the first one through that mirror. Yeah.
Okay, wait.
So you're all talking about it. Sam goes, gets up, goes over, starts the mission, and walks through the mirror.
Sam!
Look, he has drive.
I guess he has an idea. Should we follow him?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
You never that gung-ho for anything, but okay, sure. Why not?
All right. Sam, where are you going?
Am I in before the other people are?
Oh, yeah. Well, I
Oh.
mean, they kind of come through the same time as you, but I imagine you don't wait to ask where they want to go.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head straight for that tower and not really mind the fact that I'm eating dead people. Well, it's a bit concerning, but I think I'm place I want to
You're less concerned this time.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
Sam, what's your plan? Where's he going?
I don't know, but you know what? Maybe he has an idea. We've been on a few missions with him. Maybe he has something he needs to do. I trust him. He's one of us. He'll be fine.
Does he have a weird look on his face?
I feel like a little bit, yeah. He looks a little bit out of it.
Sure, roll an insight check on that.
Yeah.
Probably. That's gonna be an insight check of 14.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that Sam looks a bit frazzled and very out of it in the sense that he kind of like somebody who just had their first chance to try weed and is really into it suddenly. Guys,
What's wrong?
I don't think Sam's good.
He's probably fine.
No, Sam's not good. And I just start taking off running after him.
Okay.
Oh, that's concerning.
All right. So you guys hustle through the city, Sam leading the charge, so to speak. And what do you do when you get to the main?
Well, using my regional knowledge, I'd like to take as many shortcuts as possible for the most direct route to the orb.
I feel like you all kind of do, but you get to the orb, them trailing a little bit behind you. What do you do?
Well, as I kind of approach it, I'm kind of caught in a reverence by the feeling.
Yeah.
I'm kind of stood there and slowly take it in and know what that means and kind of slowly approach it.
Also, a weird thing. Now that you're looking at this orb, you get the same familiarity about looking at that light that you do when looking in a mirror. And then Reagan, as all of you guys catch up, you looking at that light don't as much feel drawn to it as Sam does. But looking at it, you are tempted by the promise of purpose and, really clarity, like being given every answer that you could ask or want. And then you two look at it and go, oh, hell no.
No.
So you said that the light thing, great description, Parker, was on a stage, right?
Yeah. As if they were unveiling a new invention and they turned it on.
So obviously, at least in Rock's mind, that thing is death to him.
Yeah, it is death.
But we still have no idea why we're here, so he's going to investigate around it and maybe underneath the stage to see if he finds anything. Maybe there's maybe like a weapon again?
Roll an investigation check.
Got a 5.
Yeah, you're searching around and you lift up the sort of skirting that is around the stage and look underneath, and there's just nothing under there, and then you drop it again and it kicks up a bunch of ash in your face.
Oh, God. It feels worse when I actually know they're dead people.
Well, it's also like clothes and shirt and car upholstery and anything organic.
I'm just looking at the look on Sam's face, and then I start walking toward the building that this thing is in front of, like the large building that's taking up the very center of the city. I'm just gonna go in there, see if I can go in and see if there's some sort of clue.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
Maybe there's some way to turn this thing off or stop it. About investigation of 18.
All right. You look through all of the rooms and buildings, and the majority of this city, it is completely abandoned. However, as you continue looking through, we see Jaeger passing through abandoned room to abandoned room, walking down long hallways with no real clues or indication of what to do here or where to go. And then your eyes are slowly drawn when you get to what you can only assume to be maybe the mayor's office or some sort of office. There is a small locker in the back of the room that looks like it might be some sort of personal safe, and you are drawn to it immediately. Similar to how you know the things you know about this world, as if you'd been here for years, you are drawn to that safe, as if it is what you are meant to do. And in a moment, you realize that whatever you came here to do is in that safe. Hey, Ellie again. Thank you for listening. As always, I'd like to thank our producer, Who's, at who's.music. And I would also like to thank our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. Thank you to Darbii, Cal, Parker, and Trent for their great performances. Thank you for listening. If you want to know anything else about ClockTower, like where to contact us, other episodes and projects, or maybe you just want to download the ClockTower class and use it in your own games, all of that info can be found on our website, clocktoweragent.com. Again, that website is clocktoweragent.com. We release bi-weekly, so the next episode, episode 7, will be out on all platforms on Friday, September 18th. Until then, time's ticking. See you in the Clock Tower.